Hello guys and welcome to another video. I have a great video for you today because Pavel's AI got changed and now he no longer casts his his S3 before his S2. His S2 grants him self-attack buff before the attack, so it never really made sense that it would instantly cast S3 because even going against SSBs, it would, most of the time would not be enough damage to one-shot an SSB. But man, I have something to show you. I put my Blingo gear on Pavel, and it looked really good for Banshee. So that's what we're going to do today. I already tested it out. I like the results, but there are some things and kinks we got to work on that you guys might help me on, but this is actually something viable and usable that you can use, and I'll show you. Okay, first let's go over his stats. His stats are absolutely ridiculous and insane, okay? This is not your standard Pavel. These stats are boosted to high hell, and you're actually going to be impressed about them. But let's go over there, okay? First of all, he used to cast his S3 first, which is the one that doesn't ignores damage sharing things, right? And S3 is the self attack buff that actually casts before the attack goes off. But look at the stats now. All right, this guy is 155 KCP at 4,145 attack, 84% crit chance, and 342 crit damage on DDJ. So this guy is basically built now just to be the Banshee, nemesis, right? It's gonna be fun to watch. That's not what I meant to click. Okay, before we start, I need to tell you about a condition that I have on my account that I set up for myself, but mostly because I kind of wanted to, right? Water has always been very meta, and I've always been able to deal with water meta without using earth units. So I never really felt the need to upgrade any earth units other than Basar being my first one. When Pavel came out, I upgraded Pavel, and Leo is my support for Spez. So legit, on this account where I have this many light units built, okay? I have 3 earth units, which means I don't have any earth DPS support. And you'll understand that this is important. I have the units, I just don't have them built, and I don't really want to build them because I see no point. Because I never really grind Banshee, because Banshee is not the hunt I do, because I don't normally run counter set. So this is my condition, okay? Keep that in mind, because I actually want your feedback on this video, because I'm onto something here, for sure, but I need to figure out how to clean up the edges, and you'll understand why. First, we will start with the basics, which is going to be Hunt 11. So the question here is going to be, can he one-shot Wyvern 11? As we do the runs, I'll explain the comp. Okay, Diane is here for the three turn attack buff, so he can carry the attack buff to the next stage. Ricarus here is for the speed buff on the next turn, so you can actually boost up the Pavel's damage and reduce the cooldown by 1 turn, which you'll see why it's important. And Pavel is here because he does S3 on this wave, and he completely one-shots it, no questions asked. And then we move on, and now Pavel has attack buff and S3 available. Leo is here because his S2 is a 100% chance defense break, which will hardly miss, okay? And now you're going to see the potential here, okay? Diane is also here for cleansing if we don't one-shot, but for Wyvern 11 purposes, you'll say that this is actually more than enough. As you see, like the damage, like we did 20% more damage than we actually needed to do here, okay? So 2 bookmarks, not bad at all. Let's go into Wyvern 12 and let's see how it does there. Okay, Wyvern 12, this is where it begins to falter, because even though the damage for the first wave is solid and it's very reliable, this is where Pavel no longer is able to one-shot the Banshee completely, okay? At least with DDJ, I don't know if there's any other strat, maybe Iron Fan. I don't know how it works in Banshee because I never really, grinded it too much. But in terms of first wave, we're granted all the way to Wyvern 13 because this guy will one-shot any first wave with S2. So on that part, we're good. Now, it comes down to the next part. But the interactions here are very nice too. You'll see we land defense break very reliably, and now we decrease cooldown and speed buff, okay? And now we're gonna see the damage. Most of the time, it does a bit over or half HP of the Banshee, which is not enough to one-shot at all. But you'll understand a very interesting mechanic here. Because the Ricarus reduces 1 turn cooldown. It means that when Pavel gets his turn here on the Banshee, he does his AoE again. So it's very clean, okay? Because, look, The speed is also very tuned. Look at here. Boom. Banshee's dead. Okay, so now we go instantly into the next phase, and this is where I begin to start having some RNG problems, because I can defense break with Ricker's S1 here, but it's very RNG. We attack buff and crit buff here, which gives us survivability and also gives us cleanse for this poisons. So in that regard is good, but now I struggle to get the defense break up because I will get it only next turn with Leo. So that's a problem I'm having right now. I can defense break with Ricker's twice, as you can see here, but it still bothers me. For Banshee 12, I have no issue because now we defense break and now we can do things from here, and it shouldn't be an issue. But it is quite troublesome. I can swap the N to Wondrous Potion just to try to cleanse off a little bit more of these poisons. But as you'll see here, we're going to get a turn, we're going to get attack buff, and we're going to finish off the Banshee, okay? So for Wyvern 12, still a very solid comp, because even though it doesn't one-shot, it sets up the AoE perfectly on the second wave, going instantly into the Banshee, having 2 chances to defense break, slowing the Banshee with Leo, and then we get the granted defense break, and then Pavel finishes off. So even though it's not a one-shot, it's still probably one of the fastest runs you can have, since you have a very good turn syncing when it comes down to killing the Banshees on the first wave, since Pavel will do it instantly because of the turn reduction from Rickerus. So this is why I kind of use Rickerus for the speed buff and for this, okay? So in that regard, we're good. Now let's jump into Wyvern 13, and not Wyvern, Banshee 13, and try to understand the limitations of the team there. Okay, here we are, Wyvern 13, we're gonna run, and as far as it goes in the first turn, we are golden. The damage is sufficient, and the second turn goes nicely too, and I'm pretty sure we basically 2-shot the Banshee. We just don't have the chance to 2-shot, right? Because this minor damage here from Rickers, this is RNG, but it doesn't matter, because I've tested it with just Leo and Pavel, and Pavel, without any sort of help, can one-shot this 3 Banshees, no issue, 100-0, no RNG. So this first phase is guaranteed from 11 to 13, which is quite good. And now Leo defense breaks, which is also very, very good, because he's 100% chance and he has 200 and whatever, speed, effectiveness. So there might be a 15% chance to resist, but it's still very okay. So now we're going to do the damage. It's going to be very, very good damage, but not comparable. As you can see, it goes over half HP, but that's it, okay? That's the extent of the damage we can deal here, okay? So this wave is basically the same. It doesn't matter. We're still synced to completely one-shot these Banshees with Pavel. That's no RNG. It's just clean wipe, no problem. And now we begin to have some issues, because now the cleansing becomes kind of spotty, and that's the big issue here, because we had a chance to defense break there and we didn't. We still do a lot of damage, but without the actual thing. Maybe Wondrous Potion on the end would be good, just to cleanse off those remainder of those poisons. But she's gonna curse now, and this is where we begin having issues, because here we have the defense break, but we're actually not very turn synced here, because now I'm not gonna do S2 with Pavel. I'm actually going to do I'm not going to do S1. I'm still going to do, not S3. I can't English. We're still going to do S2, and now we're going to get a ton of debuffs on us, and now the defense break we have to rely on, it's Rickerus, but now Rickerus is going to start proccing his other abilities, and that's where we have the issue here. And as you can see, the curse killed us. So we're going to do one more run, and maybe swap the end to Wondrous Potion Vial, and maybe that could help with something. But as you can see, when you get to this stage on Banshee 13, this theme stops working just because it's hard to get that turn in, right? It's hard to sync it up, because if we manage to sync up that last part, it becomes very stable. Okay, let's run it again. This time I swapped the end to Wondrous Potion Vial. Let's see if it makes any type of a change. This is going to be the last run we do. I just kind of want your feedback on this one, because I'm onto something here. The AI change for Pavel was huge when it comes down to the first wave, because people normally like to take Charles and stuff. I think Pavel would do a lot better job than Charles, since he actually doesn't need the attack buff. And you might have some strats where you can actually cheese this one out without having to have the attack buff, right? So let's see, because this one is easy, okay? First wave, completely easy, no problem, just 2 AoEs. The third one from Pavel just gets it. And then the transition into this is very nice too. We get the speed buff, we get the defense break, and now we nuke, right? And the nuke is very stable as well. It doesn't really change much. Right, so the Wondrous Potion Vial already proccing, which doesn't really help us much here, but in the end result it will. Okay, so that damage is stable 60k on Banshee 13. Even if you lose attack buff here, it's not RNG, guys. If we lose the speed buff or attack buff on Pavel, remember Pavel self-buffs attack when he does S2, meaning that he will have no issues with killing these people. So don't worry about that. There he goes, and bloop, they're all dead. Okay, so this part, up until here, is very telegraphed, so we don't have any issues with this. This is when it becomes kind of faltering. We can slow. Maybe it's enough CR that we get here with the end, just to cleanse off the remainder of the things. Defense breaks from Rickers would be nice, but I do know that they're pretty RNG, so I'm not gonna complain much about that.
I'll show you
the power of the spear. Alright, I'm interested on this run. This is going to be S1, right? But we do have attack buff, so it does hurt for quite a bit. But now we're going to start seeing some curses, aren't we? Because now the cleansing for Diane is kind of off, and she's not going to cleanse much anymore. And now things go to shit, isn't it? Yeah. This is where basically things go completely... they just tip over. Things tip over from here. And she heals quite a bit, huh? We will get attack buff here. Leo is about to die, but he's probably gonna die. Unless he can get a shield. He might get a shield, okay. Okay, this is kind of working, but it seems a bit too RNG because poisons are RNG, even though I think she landed all the poisons she could. Now we're gonna defense break an S3. Maybe we're synced now to finish. Okay, we should be... yeah, okay. This worked. Okay, Wondrous Potion Vial fixed it for us to finish this. Because now, oh, we hadn't finished that. Okay, I guess we'll finish now because there's still one turn defense break, and she's not gonna loop us. She's slowed, so yeah. But it's still not as polished as I want it to be, just because poisons. Even though I think they actually landed all the poisons they could, it's still a bit too RNG for me. But as you can see, it works, and I mean, it's all granted to Pavel having this new AI, right? So yeah, I like it, and I kind of want your support here because as you can see, I have 3 Earth units. I don't have a problem building another one to grind Banshee, but I don't really see the need to getting counter gear. At least for me, honestly, for me, it's mostly for destruction gear. Even though I have plenty of free destruction gear I'm not using, but this is just some food for thought. I think Pavel now is extremely good for Banshee. At least if you're earlier in the game and you have like decent gear, test him out as Wyvern 11 Banshee one shot because he did a great job there. And he was just solo DPS on that one and no issues whatsoever. So just test things out or just think about a comp that I could possibly use. But for now, I think this comp is pretty good. Even though it's a bit RNG, I need to do more runs on this Wyvern 13, on this Banshee 13 one, just so I can, you know, see what are the limitations of those poisons. Because I'm pretty sure they landed everyone of the poisons, but I still need to check that out because the Banshee might crit, she might not. So it's still probably not very stable, but at least it worked once. I guess that's fine. That's about it for today's video. We might do another video today for Pavel PvP with this gear because that might be interesting as well. And yeah, that's about it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.